Hello, my creative friends. I'm glad you're taking an art break today, and today I'm going to be painting this particular painting using acrylic paint. For those of you who'd like to have a tracer, I do have a sketchbook membership. I'll go ahead and put the link to the membership down inside of the description box. It's very easy to join and very reasonably priced. I so appreciate all of those who've become members and support my channel that way. Thank you for doing so. The painting look I wanted for this particular painting, I wanted it to be kind of a loose quality painting. So to begin with, I take my brush, I hold it a little farther away, and I take some burnt umber paint, water it down, and just sketch over the lines I've already used and traced from my tracer on originally for the umbrella and the boots. I'm not looking to be perfect here. I'm just kind of going in and tracing around my lines very loosely. This is going to help in the end not to have any white areas around my boots or my umbrella in the end. Think of it as more of a building block step. I'm adding those blocks to build the rest of my painting around. You may or may not see any of these brown lines in the end, so don't worry about having them perfect. Just go ahead and lightly sketch them on and get it set up for the background that we're going to be painting next. I forgot to mention what type of surface I was painting on. I'm painting on paper, and I went ahead and I taped a border all the way around using the Scotch Magic tape. It's really a good idea to stick the tape to your clothing before you put it on your paper. That will just help so that it doesn't tear your paper when you go ahead and remove the tape in the end. To do my background, I'm going to be using a flat style brush, and I'm using 3 different shades of green. I'm using the Deco Art Colors and Americana brand. The lightest color is called Citron Green, the middle color is called Hauser Light Green, and the dark gray green one is called Thicket. When I'm doing this process, I'm basically doing a blend on blend of colors. I'm putting the colors on and then blending them in as I go. This layer is just the beginning. It's another building block in this painting. You won't see a lot of this layer in the end, but you will see shades of those grays underneath and pops of bright color all along. So fill in your background. I'm going to go around my umbrella and around my boots. I'm going to go ahead and slip slap this paint all through the background, creating a movement in my background by switching the direction of my brush and creating an interesting background this way. When you're doing the first layer, the goal isn't to finish the look completely. The goal is to get your background tinted and ready to go for the next layers we're going to be putting on. This is just the first layer, so don't spend a ton of time putting your paint on. Just go ahead and get a colorful, uneven movement in your background. Once your first layer is all dry, now we're going to begin the next layer. This time I'm taking a little bit of the color, the medium one called Hauser Green, and I'm mixing a little bit of the warm white into it. Deco Art has a color called warm white, and I'm using that for my white. And as I'm going along, I'm trying to do more of a dry brushing on there. Now if you get too thick with your paint, like I did kind of there, I took my paper towel, dampened it slightly, and then just rubbed it a little bit so my color wasn't too white, too fast. I'm looking for more of a kind of a dry brushing technique. I don't have a ton of paint on my brush, and I'm going over the layers. I'm still wanting some of that underneath colors to show through. So by applying my layers of paint and thin layers, that's going to help still keep some of that color from below, and I'm building up the colors as I go. I'm also going to be picking up a little bit of that bright green, the citron green too, to add a little bit of brightness towards the top of my colors. Here I'm picking up a little bit of the Thicket color. I've watered it down and created a wash, and I apply it all over. Let that dry, and then I put a wash of the little bit of the green citron and some white over the top to lighten the background. It down a lot. Most of my paint is already dry already, so I'm watering down that thicket and I'm adding a wash over everything. This is just going to help tone it. I'm going to have a little bit more of that gray color in there. This is very much a dance in between putting on paint, taking it off. So I'm adding another layer. I I've let that area all dry, and now I'm going to start doing a little base coating on my boots and on my umbrella. I left the boots white because I was going to be putting this bright color of pink on there. The color I'm using for the bright shade of pink is an apple barrel color called Candy Pink. I love the bright shade of that color. And the other color I'm using to tone is called Cactus Flower by Deco Art. And then I'm going to be popping in towards the end a little bit of the Liquitex basic acrylic color called Fluorescent Pink. Those are some of my favorites to use for pink. Here I'm just going in and I'm blending a little bit of color on top of each other. I started with the bright pink, I added a little bit of the cactus flower on there, and then now I'm adding a little bit of warm white. These are just the beginning building blocks for these boots, so I don't have to feel like I need to finish my item right now. I'm just adding a variety of color on my boots. Now to do the umbrella, I use the colors in Deco Art. My lightest shade of blue is called Bahama Blue. My darker shade of teal is called Desert Turquoise. And then I'll be using some of that warm white in there as well. For the umbrella, I want to make sure that that underneath piece, where it's going underneath, is going to be darker than the front ones. That's where I use the majority of the Desert Turquoise blend of color underneath there. But again, this is just the beginning. I'm blocking in the colors, and then once I have my colors blocked in, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to use my tracer again to add in the flowers. At this step is where I'm going to be using the tracer again. I'm going to lay down a sheet of transfer paper. I'm going to line up my tracer on the very top for my image down below. Then I like to use a ballpoint pen and go over the tracer image. It wouldn't have made much sense to have all of the detail when I was working on the background and blocking in those first shapes. Now my tracer can help me to add the details. So I'm going to be tracing over the umbrella, the small little flower parts and the leaves, and go ahead and put that line work in. This step really doesn't have to be exact either, but the tracer does make quick little work of adding those little pieces on to my painting. Once I had all of the details retraced, I went ahead and I took my blue colors again, the Bahama Blue, the Desert Turquoise, and a little bit of warm white to work on the color for my umbrella. I wanted to have the brighter, lighter colors on the front of the umbrella, and then underneath I was going to be putting the Desert Turquoise colors. That's just going to help give my umbrella a little bit more dimension. This is just a technique of blending the colors wet on wet into each other. That's just going to give more of an interesting look if you have more than one color. I don't usually wash my brush out at all when I'm using the same colors on an area. If I need to get rid of some of the paint, that it's too thick and it's looking over blended, I can always just wipe it on a piece of paper towel and keep on painting. But I usually try to keep it out of the water when I'm doing this step. To help my blue area even look more interesting, I picked up a little bit of the citron green and blended it into that Bahama Blue color on the very top. I find paintings that have more than one colors blended together look so much more interesting than just one flat color. Go ahead and play around with this technique and see what you like the best. If your colors start looking overly blended and too muddy, go ahead, give your painting a little time to dry, and then you can go ahead and paint over and add another layer on top. That's the great thing about acrylic paint. You don't necessarily have to stick with what you have, and there's lots of opportunities to change your painting as you go. I wanted to add one more shade of green when doing the leaves, so I decided to use a darker shade of green called Evergreen. I wanted that contrast of something different than what the colors were in my background, so by adding another darker shade of green, I was going to have enough contrast in my leaves for them to stand out from the background. So I'm still mixing the colors. I'm still using the variety of greens that are on my palette and never using just one. I'm mixing in those shades, but by adding that next deeper color of green, it's going to help pop those leaves off the paper. The boots and the shade of pinks I were using were fairly translucent, so I needed quite a few layers of paint. And again, anytime I'm mixing the color paints on top, I'm mixing more than one shade of the pink. So I'm going in, taking the brightest pink, adding a little bit of the medium, and shortly here I'm going to be using that neon pink color and introducing that to my boots as well. You can also mix a little bit of your paint and make your own colors. So pick up some of the other colors that you have on your palette and add a little bit of that to your painting as well. That's just going to harmonize your colors more if you keep on using the colors everywhere throughout your painting. The colors for the tulips, I was going to be introducing a bright shade of red called Tuscan Red, and it really does make those tulips come to life by adding that bright shade of red. I'll be mixing a little bit of the pink and a little bit of that neon pink color in them as well. Once I had the tulips painted, I wanted to add a nice little filler flower in between all of the tulips and the greens and my umbrella to fill in some of the space. So I was going to be creating what I call a tap-tap flower. Basically, I double load my brush in 2 different colors, and I was going to be making purple ones, and I was going to be using the color Dioxine Purple and the Deco Art color, and a little bit of the warm white double mixed on my brush, and I just basically tap a little cone shape that has some movement by curving over and filling in some of those spaces. I wanted them to go up inside of my umbrella and then kind of go around my tulips as well. I still want to leave some of the green space open. I don't want it all filled in by adding these little filler flowers, but I wanted to add another layer of interest. Once I got to this stage, I wanted to take a little bit of the bright pink, that candy pink by Apple Barrel, and add a nice little color wash of that pink in my background. So I had that pink on my palette, I watered it down a lot, and then took my brush and kind of scrubbed a little bit of that blushing of the pink in the background. And it really did bring my piece together, and it added a nice little spring quality to this painting. So I was adding another layer, but it's just a dusting and blushing of that color. To add a little bit more detail to those purple little tap-tap flowers, I go ahead and load my smaller round brush with the color of the purple and just a little bit of the white on there as well. But I make little circles to add small little petal flowers up the cone shape. I'm not looking to create polka dots, but more of like round circle shapes, so there's a dimension to the paint. And that's going to give these flowers a little bit more structure, and they're going to maybe look like either a lilac, a delphinium, something. It just gives it a little bit more structure than instead of just a plop, plop, dash, dash type of look with the paint. Let's add another layer to that background. I like the look of the blush of the pink, but now I wanted some sort of structure item in my background without being so much detail. I took some of the white paint, watered it down, and created some freehand circles in the background. If I felt that they were a little too bright, I took my paper towel and dabbed over it. I wanted it to be a pattern, but not overly strong. Taking your painting to the next level by adding another layer of pattern is really going to give your eyes something interesting to look at. And these little circle patterns really help do that trick. I've let my paint dry just a little bit. Acrylic paint's going to dry darker, so I'm looking at my flowers and I'm looking at the greens and seeing if I need to lighten up any area. It's had plenty of time to dry, so I can add the colors on the top, and I don't feel like it's going to become muddy or over blended at all. This pattern does have a polka dot pattern on top of the Rainboots, and I'm going to just paint them in freehand. So I look at the tracer and I went ahead and just put them in where I could see them on my tracer. You could put your tracer back down, use some transfer paper, and copy the little circles if you would like to. I'm using a brush here, but you could easily use a paint marker as well if you felt more confident painting the circles that way. I'm adding the little strap detail to the top of the boots as well, using my small little round brush. And when I'm doing these little boots, I do need to make sure that my boot behind is slightly darker than the one in front. So here I don't quite have it the right tint yet. I'll be adding a little bit more color to that back boot to make sure there is the dimension of one is sitting in the front and one is in the back. Now it's time for a little bit of final detail. I'm going to be using my pencil, the charcoal pencil called General's Charcoal Pencil and the 4B Soft. This just adds a very nice rich quality of black to my painting. I'm not trying to trace over everything exact. I'm going in with kind of a light touch and adding some extra line work to my painting. I can even create lines that aren't there. I don't have to follow exact. That's the look I like. I like it to be nice and loose. The charcoal pencil has a very rich black quality to it and will add that next layer of depth to this painting. Now to add a little bit of white sparkle using a Uniball Signo pen. I usually save white to the very end just as a little bit of sparkle. I always think too much white can overpower my paintings, so I like to add it as kind of like almost a glitter if you think of it that way. It's just a little bit of splash of extra white, but not going overboard. I add a little bit to the flowers, some to the boots, and I put a few little highlights, just a little bit, on my umbrella. I wanted to add another element of line work into the background, so I used the Uniball to create some line work in there as well. I added little dash marks, a few little X's, some little O's as well, just to add another layer into that background. Let's go ahead and push that background even one more layer. I'm going to be using my pencil and I'm going to be using some non-legible script in the background. When creating non-legible script, I often think of either a song or a poem while I'm writing, and I just do more of a cursive style, but kind of fast, only having just now and then a letter that you might actually be able to read, and the rest is more like scribbling. I think it adds a lot to the background. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments below if you think it adds something to the painting. The frosting on the cake, as they say, was a final layer of a few colors of soft pastels. I was taking a beautiful shade of turquoise, soft turquoise, and adding that to the top of my umbrella, and then I used the black to go around the edges. You're going to be really surprised at how that black really does make this picture pop. I'm going along my tape line, adding the dark and then smudging it with my finger. And when I pull that tape, it's going to be a nice crisp line and it just finishes off the edges, adds a little bit of antiquing, and just really does set off the edges nicely. Let's take a look at what it looks like all done with the tape off. If you've used the Scotch tape and you're noticing that your paper is starting to rip up just a little bit, you can add some heat to it to help release the tape a little bit easier. But look at how great that black pastel chalk line really makes a difference for this painting. I'm going to sign my name in pencil and then give my piece at least 2 coats of matte varnish. All of those underneath layers are not permanent, so I need to make sure I seal my piece to make sure to lock all of those elements down. Well, let's take a close-up of what this piece looks like all finished. If you're new to my channel and you like doing art and crafts, come on over and see what I'm doing. I'd love to have more creative friends join me. If you've already subscribed, make sure you click that bell so you get notifications of any new videos I might put up. If you liked watching this tutorial today, here's a couple more videos you might want to check out. Well, thanks for joining me today, and hopefully you'll come back and join me again. And next time, perhaps you'll create right along with me.